Right now at 8:30, the voters decide. Tonight, the ballots are cast, and we are awaiting results in the races that matter to you and your families. Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson, and we begin with the top two races in the tri-state area that we are watching here at home, and also Americans are watching across the country. The race for governor of New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill is up against Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Here is a live look at the results, slowly coming in with 27% of the vote in. Sherrill with really a commanding lead there with 61%. Trailing behind her, Jack Ciattarelli with 37.8%. And we are also closely watching the New York City mayoral race. Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa, and Zohran Mamdani hoping to be the next leader of the nation's largest city. The polls in New York close in just under 30 minutes. But if you're in line at 9 o'clock, you still will be able to cast your ballot. But get there soon. We have team coverage here. Our crews are spread out to the mayoral candidates' headquarters as we await those results. Let's begin with Naveen Dhaliwal in Bed-Stuy, though, with what voters are saying today. Naveen?
Christine, it's been a busy election day here in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and voters are coming to this polling site. This is PS 81 in these final moments before these polls close. Now, earlier today, Mayor Eric Adams was here. He was greeting voters and casting his own ballot. The mayor has been vocal about his support for former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who he endorsed last month, and that endorsement has sparked plenty of conversation among New Yorkers heading to the polls. Now, we spoke with several voters as they made their way inside here. Many told us the same thing, and it seems to be the cost of living and affordable housing are at the very top of their minds.
I think it's a very consequential election, and I think that I hope we do the right thing. I think that the city is not affordable at all, and I think also I believe that Zohran will definitely fund pre-K and then also just childcare in general. I think that is just too high. I don't have children yet, but I plan on having children.
Making New York more affordable for everyone. Also just implementing a lot more social systems to protect everyone. More accessible health care, housing, child care, all of those things are really important to me.
What things matter?
Cheaper beer. Just cheaper rent and just New York being cheaper, I guess. It's too expensive.
And that's a message we're hearing over and over again, and voters who are coming here are hoping that their ballot will make a difference. Again, another 28 minutes left until these polls close at 9 p.m. We're live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Naveen Dhaliwal, CBS News, New York. Christine.
Okay, Naveen, thank you. Let's check in on the candidates. Jessica Moore live in downtown Brooklyn, where Zohran Mamdani's campaign will be awaiting results after the polls close. Jessica, how's the mood there?
The mood is excited. The 34-year-old state assemblyman has absolutely captivated this city with very little experience, Christine, but a superior grasp on how to campaign. Speaking to those younger voters we just heard from in Naveen's piece about making New York City more affordable. As you said, polls still less than 30 minutes to go until they close, but the sense of excitement and anticipation is already building among the Mamdani campaign. They are expecting more than 2,000 people here tonight to celebrate what they hope will be a victory. We're in central Brooklyn, one of the areas where voter turnout is key to a Mamdani victory. The self-described Democratic Socialist cast his vote for mayor this morning in Astoria, capping off a whirlwind campaign that started with 1% support in February and skyrocketed to 56% by July. Mamdani built his mayoral bid around the issues about housing affordability, public transit, economic justice, themes that have energized that younger, more grassroots base of voters. All day, 100,000 voters have been working through this 11th hour, trying to get every last supporter to the polls before they close. The campaign staff is telling me they're focused on turnout in progressive strongholds, especially parts of Western Queens and Central Brooklyn, areas that could be key to a victory. The latest polling, though, shows a tight race with Mamdani still in the lead over Andrew Cuomo, who he continued to attack as recently as a few hours ago.
When we think about how best to fight Donald Trump, one way we can do so is by understanding Andrew Cuomo for what he is, the candidate endorsed by Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Stephen Miller.
If these margins hold, New York City could be on the verge of electing its first Muslim, first Indian American mayor, and one of the most progressive officials in office in decades. Mamdani is expected to join supporters here once the polls close, and that is when we will really get a sense of whether the vibes that you hear so much about with the Mamdani campaign translate into real votes. For now, we're live in downtown Brooklyn. Jessica Moore, CBS News, New York.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Sounds like a lot of positivity coming from that room tonight. Jessica will be reporting for us live from Mamdani headquarters throughout the evening. Jessica, thank you. Moving on to Andrew Cuomo now, running on the independent fight and deliver line, hoping to defy the polls and eke out a win. Tony Aiello live at campaign headquarters at the Ziegfeld Ballroom in Midtown. Tony.
Christine, the room is starting to fill up and the bars are starting to get busy. I would describe the mood as nervous optimism tempered by realism. Team Cuomo understands he is the underdog in this race, but recent polls have shown him gaining some ground, and the former governor accentuated that positive when he spoke with reporters earlier today.
I'm feeling very good. I feel the momentum is on our side. If you watch the polls, they've all been moving to us. I've been on the street. I feel it from people.
It's an unusual position for Andrew Cuomo, who's been the clear frontrunner in all 4 of his previous general election campaigns, never winning less than 54% of the vote. He's trying to rewrite history. His father, Mario, lost as a third-party candidate to Ed Koch in 1977, with papers noting Koch had been an obscure legislator just 10 months prior, not unlike Zohran Mamdani. Today at Co-op City in the Bronx, turnout was steady in a precinct where Cuomo wants to run up the margins. When I visited, he had 1 volunteer handing out literature, while Mamdani had a table with 4 volunteers in place. I asked voters what was on their minds.
Affordability, housing, and our transportation.
Having a better transit system and a better community.
Housing, security.
More affordable housing for New Yorkers, and transit system, and schools.
Interestingly, not one mentioned experience, which is a major focus of Team Cuomo.
And that's about making the government work, which is what I have done all my life. And that's how you really make change. You make change by understanding how to run the government.
Our CBS News exit poll shows, quote, has the right experience was the top concern for 21% of New York City voters. As always, it comes down to turnout. Several pro-Cuomo political action committees did the bulk of the get out the vote work for the Cuomo campaign. And his campaign believes today's incredible turnout really scrambles expectations, breaks the polling models, and could bode very well for Mr. Cuomo's attempted political comeback. Christine, they're very closely watching Curtis Sliwa's vote totals today. They believe if he's in the mid to low double digits, that's a really good sign for their campaign. KJ.
All right, interesting point there. Thank you so much, Tony Aiello from the Cuomo campaign. Well, speaking of Curtis Sliwa, let's get more on him. Republican there refusing to back out of the race despite calls across the party lines for him to bow out. Jennifer Bisram live on the Upper West Side at Sliwa's election watch party tonight. Jen.
Hi there, Christine. You know, lots of momentum here in the room tonight for the Republican nominee, Curtis Sliwa. You can't see behind me. You can't see anything behind me right now, and that is because to the room to my left, there's got about 100 Sliwa supporters. And I've got to tell you, despite polling at a distant third, Sliwa is still very hopeful that he could potentially be the next mayor of New York City. He believes that he is the person, the only candidate who can stand up to tough issues for New Yorkers, and he also says he is the voice of the outer boroughs. The red beret-wearing Guardian Angels founder and Republican nominee for New York City Mayor Curtis Sliwa in Middle Village, Queens, Tuesday, as he crisscrossed the city, making his final pitch to voters this election day.
It's a fight to the finish. It's a fight for residential neighborhoods, and it's a fight to get our Republicans elected so that we can balance what the DSA has in terms of their influence on the city council.
The 71-year-old Brooklyn-born mayoral candidate who built his campaign on public safety, quality of life, and animal welfare not faced some members of his own party, including President Trump, have not thrown their support behind him.
It's not an election about the president or anyone else. He's free to weigh in. We'll see by tonight if his endorsement of Cuomo in the last waning seconds, where Cuomo tells Republicans, see, he's endorsing me, but Democrats, no, he didn't endorse me, if that tricknology works.
Sliwa voted on the first day of early voting at the American Museum of Natural History, but joined his wife this morning on the city's west side to cast her vote, despite trailing far behind Democratic Socialist frontrunner Zohran Mamdani and independent and former Governor Andrew Cuomo in every poll. Plus, being asked to drop his bid, he continued to double down on his grassroots message, promising to clean up streets, protect animals, and fight for the city's outer boroughs.
This will be determined by the people, and they're certainly exercising their right to vote in an unprecedented way in a mayoral election.
And Christine, you may recall Curtis Sliwa ran against Mayor Adams back in 2021. Back then, he lost by about 40 points. Tonight, he says he is fighting this until the very end. We are live from his headquarters, campaign headquarters, or election watch party headquarters on the west side. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
The man who refused to bow out. Okay, Jen, thank you.